Yo, what is up, guys? Travis, aka Travesty. Today I'm coming at you with my 2022 Awakening Mystic PvP guide. Not much has really changed since 2021 when I put out the PvP combo, but I have gotten a little bit better at Awakening Mystic, a little bit more experienced when it comes to Node War Siege, Group PvP, 1v1, and this will be a multiple part series. Today I'll be going over how to stay protected, SA rotation, movement, utility, damage. Um, Recently I've been playing a lot of Olerino Solaire, and I was able to make it as the top Awakening Mystic NA, with the caveat being that I'm the only one on NA playing from NA. So it doesn't make it makes it harder to like compare, but at the same time, it's fine. Awakening Mystic is in a very bad state. If you really want to be a serious PvPer, somebody that people are scared of, then you swap to Succession. So if you want a combo, it's hit K and press Succession. Alright, with that out of the way, I've been working with the EU Awakening Mystic Wenos, and today we'll just be going over our SA skills, as well as our SA rotation, as well as just like protective movement you can use. Take 279. Alright guys, my name is Travis. We'll be going over the skills really quickly. Absolute Heavy Fist. You can't lock it. It's your auto attack. You can use it to generate shards. Not a skill I recommend you really worry about. Absolute Fist of Strength, lock that. Soul Basher, lock that. Flowed Blow Drive, lock that. Absolute Triple Flying Kick is an Ava buff. You can use it. It also gives you attack speed. Or not attack speed, movement speed plus 30%, as well as a 10% critical rate for 5 seconds. The Ava buff lasts 10 seconds, and it has no cooldown. So this is a very good self buff. Adamantine, you can use it, you can lock it. It has a lingering frontal guard. I personally lock it, don't like to use it. It messes up combos. And only certain times or certain skills you use, like such as a left hand mass destruction versus a right hand mass destruction, will make it linger or not linger. The left hand being the one that lingers. Mass Destruction's multi-hit stun, very good for getting behind frontal guard or fishing for CCs. I personally like to use it at a perfect blow. And it has lingering SA. Very good skill. Ankle Hook, Martial Diva, lock those. They're used for style points, not really needed. Recoil Slam, Bombardment. Get those skills. You can lock both. I think if you lock this one, yeah, you can't lock Recoil Slam. So you need to have Recoil Slam open. That way, when you swap between Awakening and Pre-Awakening, you have Frontal Guard on that C-swap. Thunder Pound, very good skill for PvP. It has Lingering Frontal Guard. It has a stun at the beginning and a KD at the end. Very strong. Get Shackling Chain, that's evasion minus 9%. Very good skill. Something I want to note when you use Absolute Thunder Pound, do not use it after Mass Destruction. That will stun lock a person. A lot of times, if you go from Succession Mystic to Awakening Mystic, you'll do that. The Thunder Pound Absolute version has stun on the first hit, so that definitely do not do that. Alright, going forward, we have Combo Hurricane, Absolute Death Clout, Splinter Thud, Bolster. Lock all those. Unless you're a stylish motherfucker, you don't need those skills. Somersault, very good skill. Use it at a Wolf Frenzy to get a float off. Pretty long range float. You also have your Dash Buster Flow, which is SA Lingering. Very strong. Somersault's unprotected, so use it wisely. It doesn't have that much damage, but it has a decent amount of range and so can be used to fish after Wolf Frenzy or Crouching Wolf Backstep. Hidden Claw, very unreliable iframe, but can be used in both Awakening or Pre-Awakening, so it's good to swap stance. The Backstep, it can be used for movement as well, but I wouldn't use it that often. So it's something you can lock if you want. I personally had it locked for a while, but it's an iframe, and it swaps you. Flow, Death Strike, Savage Fang, do not take those. They are not worth having. Do not take those. Fist Fury, lock that shit. No purpose in Awakening Mystic. Twisted Collision, very good range float. Can be canceled with the Flow Skyrimmer, Flow Landslide. The other two flows are not worth it because they mess with your Seaburial cancel. So you can Seaburial cancel with it. You can Landslide cancel with it. And you can Skyrimmer cancel with it. The most common combination I like to see is Twisted Collision into Landslide into Skyrimmer. Landslide has a large gap at the end of its flow, so you can combo with Skyrimmer to take away that gap. Both are good skills. If you wanted to climb, you can do those in succession as well. And then Twisted Collision is a very good protected sequence. Twisted Collision Seaburial. Elbow Edge, decent skill, DP debuff, moves you very far forward. As shown here, it's a stiff as well. It's a quick stiff. On when it's available on cooldown. It has a minus DP buff that you can stack to have another minus DP buff. I personally use it as one of my combo add-ons. It also has good distance, so it moves you pretty far forward. It's unprotected though, so use wisely. Rib Crusher, Tornado Kick. I don't take those flows. I personally think the flows for both Elbow Edge and Thunder Pound are style only. Absolute Sweeping Kick. This is unprotected. It's a AP buff in succession, but in Awakening, it's a quick KD. You can use it in place of Roaring Tiger or Thunder Pound. Let's say you get somebody with a stun, but you notice it late. You can KD with it. Unprotected, use wisely. Roaring Tiger. This is a heal. It's a KD. It's often used as your second CC in a combo. Gives you HP. Has some accuracy. It has 100% BSR. 100% BSR fucking sucks. Don't use it. Alright, Absolute Rage Hammer. This is a lingering SA. It has a bound on it as well. An AoE bound. Very good for catching rats when they're trying to catch you from behind. Useful in SA rotation. Very good for protection. And AOS I also use it for. Alright, so Hurricane Kick. This is the new skill added after Magnus. I haven't really played around with it that much. Seems to be slow. Frontal Guard. It's only Frontal Guard. If it was SA, I think it would have a better usage. But right now, it's a slow Frontal Guard. I don't think it's useful, so currently not using it. I lock it. And if you take this skill, you can't have Adamantine. So if you had to pick between the two, I would say Adamantine's a little bit more useful because this skill is so slow and doesn't do that much damage. Okay, Flash Step is our iframe dash. The first dash is going to be iframe. The second two dashes will be SA, but the second two dash flows are in Awakening, this double flash flow. It also consumes shards, so if you use all three of your dashes, you'll consume Martial Spirit shards and have SA on it. Silent Step. So Flash Step is probably one of our best iframes. Only second to Silent Step. Silent Step is one of our best iframes, most reliable iframes. It's shift directional area arrow, and very good, very strong skill. Evasion, you lock that. Wolf Frenzy is another iframe skill. I like to use this when I'm in a pickle. I can also use it to chase somebody. You can also use it to fish for CC. A lot of applications of this skill. It has also tier 3 add-ons. So in Arena of Solaire, it can be very useful for tier 3 add-ons. And I believe, let's see. I believe it keeps you in the same stance that you're in. I'll have to double check here in 15 seconds. Alright guys, it's been 15 seconds. Let's go into pre-awakening by pressing Crouching Wolf on hotbar, and let's do Wolf Frenzy. Alright, looks like it keeps you in the same stance. Okay, so going forward, we have Crouching Wolf. Crouching Wolf is very good. Lingering SA. It also is our attack speed buff when you do it without shards. It's 10% when you do it with 3 shards. It's 20%. The flow also stiffs. So when you have 3 shards and you catch somebody, you stiff them. Very good CC. Very good for fishing for CCs. Very something that you should actively try to have at any engage or any fight. The 20% attack speed versus 10% attack speed is huge in combos, and it's a stiff. You can backstep out of it for a solid iframe, and you can also use it to swap stances on hotbar. And it's very good for repositioning as well. Sometimes when I want to grab somebody, I'll vacuum them, Crouching Wolf backstep, and go for the grab that way. It's decently nice, but that's mainly for style. I only do that when I'm BMing. Grab, pretty self-explanatory. It's a KD grab. It is not protected on the attempt, but it's protected during the animation as a SA. The reworks really fuck with this because now you can't grab when somebody's throwing out a protected CC, because sometimes you'll get CC'd out of your grab. Very fucking annoying. Makes DP meming an actual meme. But antics aside, very strong skill, KD grab. Max all these out, you get 30% passive grapple, ignore grapple resistance, and then you get 1% special attack damage when you're level 62. Alright, let's go into our Awakening skill tree. We have Dragonize, our E-buff. Our E-buff's okay. The best thing about our E-buff being that you can walk around with SA. So it's SA when you walk. You can dash, 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 walk. It's very good for chasing down casters. The attack speed is nice. The rest of the skill is okay. The resistance is not going to be useful outside of AOS because you're going to be running Blur. The AP plus 20 doesn't stack with your Spiral Torpedo plus 16, so it's essentially 4 AP. DP is not useful as an evasion build. It's somewhat useful in AOS, but I'd rather have, you know, what Succession Mystics have, which is plus 15% evasion. So the skill is okay. It's probably one of the most least powerful e-buffs of the gauntlets. Tranquility, this is great for shard management. Let's say I burned all my shards going in for using Seaburial. Tranquility, you get those shards back. It's unprotected, use wisely. Cessa's Stranding, auto attack. Yeah, it's auto attack. Infinite Fortitude, very good skill. Very, very, very good skill. You can use it when you're in trouble. It's a 60% damage reduction, and then 5% damage reduction after you complete the skill. So it has a 30-second cooldown. It has tier 3 add-ons on it as well. You can cancel it with dash, like flash step, or you can cancel with silent step. Both of those cancels will remove the 60% DR increase on it. So I'd recommend if you're going to use it, don't cancel it out unless you're going to cancel it out and surprise somebody. You can cancel it with LMB or space. Tidal Burst, this is a PvE skill only. If you're using it in PvP, you're probably trying to use Thunder Pound. Spiral Torpedo, one of our best fishing CCs. It's super armor KD. And it's gapless if you add Gushing Water. Now, it does have gaps in it. It's not like Awakened Striker's Spiral Torpedo. It has a pretty big gap. You need to cover that gap up with Gushing Water. But even if you cover up the gap with Gushing Water, the initial part you get CC'd out of because there is a small gap on cast. Okay, Rapid Stream. Rapid Stream is our Ava buff in Awakening. However, the Ava buff is not spammable like the pre-Awakening Ava buff. So it's not as good. But it's good for debuffing when you're PvEing. But I'd recommend trying to stay in Awakening when you're trying to self-buff versus using this. There's no real benefit of staying in Awakening nowadays. Seaburial. Seaburial is SA, consumes 3 shards when you have it for the flow. It's decent. It's not damage. It's fucking shitty damage. It has down smash on it. What else can I say about this skill? I like to use it to engage on somebody and grab them out of it. So a lot of times, a lot of aerial grabs I'll have is I'll Seaburial and grab to cancel the skill. It's decent, but it'll down smash, so you can use it at the end of a combo to down smash reset somebody. But it's pretty wasteful in SA rotation if you use it because it consumes 3 shards. Rising Dragon. Rising Dragon is one of our strongest awakening skills. Not only does it have good protected damage, the 100% out of Rising Dragon is probably one of the key reasons why I stay playing Awakened Mystic, especially in Arena of Solaire, because every 4 to 5 minutes we'll have 100%, and this 100% does like pretty big damage. So I like to chain 100% with my vacuum. So I'll go in here, 100%, and look at that shit. Bang! And it has a little trap at the end. Very cool. Very good skill. Pretty decent damage in Arena Solaire. Open world, it's kind of meh because it doesn't do the damage like Zerk or other people that have good 100%s. But in Arena Solaire, where gear is capped, it's decent. And this will consume 1 shard when you use it, and the damage is pretty good when you can use it with 1 shard. And it's protected. One of the few skills that does damage and is protected in Awakening Mystic's kit. Okay, Wave Orb, unprotected. This has a minus 30% slow. Very good for slowing people. It has forward guard if you charge it, but I recommend never using it like that. You should always be animation canceling this skill. It's used in combos mainly, but you can use it in the interim. It has a very, very far range. So let's say you're fighting a rat and they're running away, you can just throw it out and it'll bound them. Very long range skill, but unprotected. Use wisely. Earth Splitter. Earth Splitter is one of the new skills added after reboots. It's quick slottable, but I'd recommend just using down R&B for the skill. It has a decent damage. It's a down smash. I'd recommend using it at the end of combos because the bound is not a really good CC. And yeah, I would recommend using it at the end of combos. Something you could do is, yeah, you can do that. And you only do that when they're CC capped. Right there, that was a bad example because I bounded on second CC. But you can do Seaburial, Gushing Water, Earth Splitter, Dragon Strike as a down smash reset. So Dragon Strike, another down smash skill, not really good damage, cancels Wave Orb. You can take this or you can't, or you can lock it, doesn't really matter. It does kind of fuck up when you're trying to do SA rotations that use R&B a lot, because it will just come out of a lot of skills. Double Flash, we went over this. That's the SA flow, so you can get 3 dashes every 4 seconds, and it's SA. Hurricane Sweep, this is our heal. Just like Roaring Tiger, you can use this when you're safe. It gives 200 HP per kick, whereas Roaring Tiger gives you 300 HP, so that's a total of 600 plus 300, 900 HP every 6 seconds. Raging Wind, lock that. Pretty shit skill added after reboot. Pretty much no use. Dragon's Pit, it's a very good slow. It can deter people from coming. It can also confuse the enemy and thinking that you used your vacuum, which is the next skill. Vacuum, very good skill. S plus E, I would use this skill. I would say this skill is one of the best skills in Awakening Mystic kit. It's not the best vacuum, but it has its perks. Especially in open world now, it has an all accuracy minus 9%. So if you're evasion build like myself, you make yourself even tankier. Alright, when it comes to cores, I recommend Spiral Torpedo. There's an argument for Wave Orb, but Spiral Torpedo is good in almost every fucking situation, because it's a super armor KD. Alright, last but not least are Rablams and skill add-ons. So for the most part, you're going to want to take Unbridled Wrath. This is really good damage. It's actually comparable to 3-shard Wave Orb, 3-shard Rising Dragon when it comes to actual damage output. It's fully unprotected though, so you're going to have to use it wisely. A lot of people will use it in combos, or they'll just use it to get damage out quickly. Even they'll take the risk because one thing that we do not have as an Awakening Mystic in abundance is damage. Perfect Blow is a very good movement skill. It swaps stance as well for combos, but I would say its most powerful thing is being able to cancel with dash or mass destruction. But one of my favorite things to do when I'm fighting somebody is surprise them with a perfect blow dash grab, which is shown like this. And we'll go into more of the animation canceling chaining skills in the next video. When it comes to this last problem, it's the difference between Thrashing Wolf and Raging Wolf. I would recommend taking Thrashing Wolf because it's a very good damage and it's fully protected, whereas Raging Wolf is the self speed buff and a slow. Now Raging Wolf has its perks, right? This is probably one of the few skills that you can switch between, and I would recommend if you're in like a 1v1 tourney or a 1v1 situation, I would say this skill is actually pretty good because let's say you burn your shards, you're going to get a decent speed buff from this skill, and it will slow the enemy down. So it's definitely something you can take. It used to be the go-to skill, but Thrashing Wolf has really cut down on its a time animation lock, and it has a decent amount of damage to where it's a skill that you want to use, especially in Arena Solaire. So currently I'll stay with this skill. Okay, when it comes to skill add-ons, there's a lot of different skills you can do add-ons on. This is my current add-on build, but I change it quite frequently. I have Thunder Pound, all accuracy plus 3, evasion minus 3. This is because I like to use Thunder Pound in combos. I'll just show it here for now. I'll go more into it later when I do a combo guide, which is part 3. But this is basically what I have on my skill add-ons right now. Alright, so now that we're done with the skill add-ons and the skill review, we're going to move into the essay rotation. Alright guys, so I'm going to be going over our example essay rotation. This rotation comes from Wenos, the #1 EU Awakening Mystic. This essay rotation is mindful of shard management and also practices essay lingering. When I say essay lingering, some skills have essay that lingers a little bit longer than others, and we kind of went over that in the skill review. So go ahead and start off Crouching Wolf on hotbar. Then you're going to go into Scissor Kick, and you're going to cancel Scissor Kick with Mass Destruction. You're going to linger that essay, and then you're going to go to Rage Hammer, and you're going to linger that essay. Then you're going to go to Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water. There's no linger there, and then you're going to go back to Mass Destruction, and then you're going to hit Crouching Wolf. So that's basically the rotation. Let's do it a little bit faster and try to linger stuff at the correct time. So, Crouching Wolf, Scissor Kick, Mass Destruction, Rage Hammer, Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water, Mass Destruction, Crouching Wolf, Scissor Kick, Mass Destruction, Rage Hammer, Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water, Mass Destruction, Crouching Wolf, Scissor Kick, Mass Destruction, Rage Hammer, Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water, Mass Destruction, Crouching Wolf, Scissor Kick, Mass Destruction, Rage Hammer, Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water, Mass Destruction, Crouching Wolf, so on and so forth. So that's the full rotation. You can add a backstep from Crouching Wolf into Scissor Kick if you wanted to. It gives you a little bit more leeway on the lingering essay, but that's fully protected. There's a couple gaps in this essay rotation, but it teaches you the fundamentals and you keep your shards. Next up, I'm going to be showing a little bit of an easier rotation that I came up with, but just note that it's going to take away all your shards. Need the Gushing Water flow unlocked. So it starts out with Seaburial. Rising Dragon, Crouching Wolf, Rage Hammer. Scissor Kick into Mass Destruction, Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water, Seaburial. Rising Dragon, Crouching Wolf, Rage Hammer. Scissor Kick into Mass Destruction, Spiral Torpedo, Gushing Water, Seaburial. Rising Dragon, Crouching Wolf, Rage Hammer. Scissor Kick, Mass Destruction. It's infinitely repeatable. And if you really wanted to, you could go into like an RBF, and if you had gear, right, you can swap on some DP and just practice that in the face of like multiple people. And you should only be getting CC'd by a grab. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and go into our movement skills. So, of course, we have our dash, right? So, 1, 2, 3, and then once you use 3 dashes, you'll start consuming the martial spirit shards that you have. What I like to do nowadays is if I'm fully protected, right? I know that nobody's gonna hit me. I'll do dash, 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 go into pre-awakening, and elbow edge, dash, 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 pre-awakening, elbow edge, elbow edge, elbow edge. That's just a quick way to get from one spot to another. You can throw in like Spiral Torpedo as well. Yep, and that's just how you get around. Now, if you wanted to stay protected while moving, then you're going to have to play around your dash, because it's basically your only protected movement is going to be that. Spiral Torpedo puts you forward a little bit. You can Crouching Wolf backstep, but I would say the Crouching Wolf backstep portion is punishable. It's technically an iframe, but 9 times out of 10, I get grabbed out of it or CC'd out of it, because there's a gap at the end of it that is very easy to get punished, especially if you're fighting somebody that's doing range attack. Another great movement skill is Wolf Frenzy. So Wolf Frenzy has like this distance right here. So, and then you can backstep out of it, and it's like a block jump, but not as good. You can use that to punish grabs. You can backstep into somersault. You can go into Scissor Kick. Scissor Kick is also some protective movement. So if I wanted to like stay fully protected, what I would do is I would dash, 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 Scissor Kick, Seaburial. And I could just keep going forward this way. Play around my dashes. You can also do this to the side as well. It's not as good as in a Succession Mystic or an Awakening Mystic as in Succession. So boom, 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 boom. Alright, last off we have our utility and management, our damage skills. So Awakened Mystic is mainly known as a utility class. So what utility do you provide? So you first off, I went over this earlier, you got your vacuum. This skill is very good for grouping up players so people can punish them. You can also grab them out of your vacuum. One thing to note is that a vacuum is animation locked, so don't do it close to like ninjas or kunos if they have block jump available. Don't do it next to a grab class that can move forward with movement like Perfect Blow and grab you out of it. So if you were fighting a mirror mystic, right, and you vacuum them like right here, they could go forward with Perfect Blow and grab you out of your vacuum. So that's something to keep in mind. That's probably one of our best utility skills. Another skill we have is our Dragon's Rip. This is unprotected. I went over it earlier, but it deters enemies from coming in. It also confuses enemies on whether or not you use your BSR skill, and it has a slow on it. Our 100% BSR is a nice damage skill. I kind of went over it earlier, but I would use vacuum into it, so that way the enemies are locked into that, and it also lingers a little bit when you do that combination of skills, vacuum into 100% BSR Rising Dragon. Other utility I would say we have is you can always run a DP set, and go in and make a lot of CCs. So your Spiral Torpedo is a KD that goes through frontal guard. Very good CC. You have your Crouching Wolf, which is an AoE stiff. Very good CC. Our Grab is a KD. Very good CC. You have a lot of different options. You have your Rage Hammer, which is a AoE CC. So you have a lot of CC options you can choose from. But the utility has been greatly reduced since reboot, as our grab is now 15 seconds. Our vacuum no longer slows. And yeah, we're generally not as tanky as we were before. Our infinite fortitude is a very good skill for ourselves, but I think if they added a team portion of this, say you use it next to your party, they gain that PA buff or they gain something similar. We could also use a little bit more healing. Our E buff, again, this is a very good quote-unquote utility skill, as you can just walk around with SA and pressure casters, etc. But yeah, those are the utility skills. Let's go into the damage. So one of our protected damage skills has got to be Rising Dragon 1 Shard. This is SA, Lingering SA. Very good damage. I would say out of all our damage in Awakening Mystic, it's probably our highest damage protected. Even higher than 3 Shard Seaburial, which is another damage skill. Seaburial is kind of shit when it comes to damage, and they have like a really hard modifier on it, making the flow and the actual attack itself really, really low. You'll see minus 75.9% in PvP, and then the Sea Dragon effect minus 60%. Both of those are above 50%, basically reducing the skill to doing pretty much nothing. Other protected damage is Thrashing Wolf, as mentioned earlier. It's the Rablan of option. It's a animation locked skill. You can dash out of it, you can Scissor Kick out of it, you can Mass Destruction out of it, and that will shorten the animation slightly. Oftentimes I will Scissor Kick out of it or dash out of it. You can also Mass Destruction out of it. That's about it when it comes to our utility and damage. We'll talk more about the playstyle, and we'll talk more about how to climb with Awakening Mystic in a later video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's guide video. I put a good amount of time trying to put this together with Wenos. Huge shout out to Wenos for inspiring me to make new guides, even though Awakening Mystic is a fucking dead class. Peace.